Welcome to another Math Connect tutorial. In this lesson, you'll be learning how to use the cosine rule to calculate the length or angle of a non-right angle triangle. The requirements for this lesson are that you know how to solve equations and that you're proficient in the use of a scientific calculator. So let's start by taking a look at what the cosine rule is. So these three equations make up the cosine rule. So now let's take a look at how we apply the cosine rule to solve some problems. In this example, we're given a triangle ABC with two sides and an angle, and we're asked to find the length of the third side. So we know that the cosine rule states a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos A. We know that B is 12. We know that C is 6. And we know that A is 76 degrees. So let's plug those numbers into the equation. And that gives us A squared is equal to 12 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 12 times 6 cos of 76 degrees. We plug all of this into a calculator and we get a squared is equal to approximately 73. So solving for a, we know that a would be the square root of 73, which gives us approximately 4. So now let's look at another example. In this example, we're given a triangle ABC with the lengths of all three sides, and we've been asked to calculate the angle. Once again, we write the cosine rule, which is a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos A. We know in this case, A is 8, B is 12, C is 11, and capital A, the angle, is theta. So let's plug all of that into our equation. We get 8 squared is equal to 12 squared plus 11 squared minus 2 times 12 times 11 cos theta. So let's simplify this a little bit. 8 squared we know is 64 is equal to 12 squared is 124 plus 11 squared plus 11 squared is 121 minus 2 times 12 times 11, which is 264 cos theta. So because this is a negative, we want to bring this part over to this side of the equation to make it positive. And we want to move this 64 to this side, which will turn the 64 into a negative. So let's do that. When we move the minus 264 cos theta over to the left-hand side, it becomes 264 cos theta equals, we have 124 plus 121, and because we brought the positive 64 over to the right-hand side, it becomes a minus 64. So when we simplify that further, we get 264 cos theta is equal to 181. Now we solve for cos theta by dividing both sides by 264. So that gives us cos theta is equal to 181 over 264. And the final step is to find theta. So to get theta, we do the inverse cos. So theta is equal to the inverse cos of 181 over 264. We plug that into a calculator and we get theta is equal to 46.7 degrees. So let's do two more quick examples, and we'll do these two examples together. So I want you to take out your pen and paper and have a try. In this example, we're given three sides and we've been asked to find the angle. So the first step you're going to need to do is to write down the equation, and I'll give you a couple of seconds to do that. So the equation would be a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. So the next step would be to substitute the correct numbers into the equation. So I want you to pause the video and substitute in the numbers into the equation. So I find that the easiest way to know which numbers go where is to start off with the angle. We know that the angle A is theta. So this means that lowercase a would be 2. And B could be either 3.2 or 2.5. It doesn't really matter. So let's stick with 3.2. C is 2.5. Again, B is 3.2. C is 2.5. So now I want you to pause the video and put these numbers into the equation. You should get 2 squared is equal to 3.2 squared plus 2.5 squared minus 2 times 3.2 times 2.5 cos theta. So let's try to simplify this equation now. We know 2 squared is 4. 3.2 squared is 10.24 plus 2.5 squared is 6.25 minus 2 times 3.2 times 2.5 is equal to 16. So that would be 16 cos theta. Once again, we try to solve for cos theta. And because this is a negative, we want to bring this over to the left-hand side to make it a positive. And we want to separate this 4, so we want to bring this 4 over to the right-hand side, making it a negative 4. So let's see what that looks like. It would look like 16 cos theta is equal to 10.24 plus 6.25 minus 4. So we get 16 cos theta is equal to 12.49. We now divide both sides by 16 to get rid of the 16 on the left-hand side. So we get cos theta is equal to 12.49 divided by 16. We can now solve for theta by doing an inverse cos. So theta would be inverse cos of 12.49 over 16, which gives us approximately 38.7 degrees. So now let's take a look at our final example. In this example, we've been given a triangle with 2 sides and 2 angles, and we've been asked to calculate the length of the third side. So once again, let's start off with what we know, and that is to write down the cosine rule. So I want you to pause the video, draw this diagram, and do your first step, which is to write down the cosine rule. So we know the cosine rule is a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. In this question, we need to determine what our lowercase a is and what our large a is. And because we're looking for the value of x, then we know that lowercase a must be x. And if lowercase a must be x, then uppercase a must be, that's right, 45 degrees. So that's the angle that we're going to use. So now I want you to pause the video and plug in all the numbers. Okay, so did you get this? X squared is equal to, and we know b is 17, so it'll be 17 squared plus c squared, which we know is 15, so 15 squared, minus 2bc, which is 2 times 17 times 15, cos, and we've determined that the a is the 45 degrees. So once we simplify all of this, we get x squared is equal to, now I want you to pause the video, plug in the numbers, and see what you get. So to find x, we need to square root both sides. So x would be the square root of 153, and that gives us 12.4. So did you get 12.4? If you did, excellent. If you didn't, that's okay. Just go through the video as many times as you need to, and I promise eventually you will get it. As always, if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please support the channel by subscribing and spreading the word.